very warm welcome to another episode of Off the Leash. We're up to episode number 13. We are back. I was on holiday last week. Apologies for that, missing out on a winner or two. But if it's not broke, don't fix it. 2 weeks ago, Tony Bullen produced the goods. Gary the Arb absolutely cruised home. That was your best bet of the week last time we saw you, Tony. How have you been these last couple of weeks?
Yeah, refreshed and ready to rumble, Dave. As I say, episode 13, hopefully it ain't unlucky for us because we have absolutely been flying and let's hope we can continue it.
Well, there's lots to get stuck into. Do remember to, of course, like, comment and subscribe, and do get in touch with us, your thoughts. Hopefully you're betting these winners. You got any questions for me and Tony? We've got one as well, which we'll come to as well. But busy times. As I've said on previous shows, Tony, the conveyor belt of Cat 1s just keeps on churning.
Yeah, I like the structure. I mean, in previous years, the calendar's been a bit mishmashy for my liking, and trainers can't really plot their course with their dogs. But now they can pick their poison. I think it's good all round. You need a yearly calendar so we know what the dates are, where the venue is, who's sponsoring it, how much it's worth. About time.
About time indeed. Right, just to give you of what is ahead, or what lies ahead the next couple of weeks anyway. First port of call for us will be the £12,500 Arc Grand Prix final at Sunderland. That's on Friday night. Then we'll have semi-finals of the Coral Brighton Belle down at Hove. That's on Saturday night, alongside the Laurels, semi-finals of that, and we'll pick that competition up next week for the final. And on Sunday, the £17,500 BresBet Gymcrack final, the most lucrative race of the weekend. I think the most lucrative puppy event as well, alongside the £20,000 Premier Greyhound Racing Puppy Derby at Monmore. So some big dosh up for grabs this weekend, Tony.
Yeah, it is. As I say, there's lots of variety as well. We've got lots of staying races, puppy races, bitches. Things are good at the moment.
They are indeed. Right, we will head to Sunderland then, Friday night. Everyone involved is hoping that this one's going to be shown live on Sky Sports Racing. It is a digital-only meeting at Sunderland, so it won't be on the Premier Greyhound Racing service online. It will be on your bookmakers, and fingers crossed it'll be on Sky Sports Racing as well. We'll have a look at the fastest semi-final winner. I mean, I think the dog to beat, the dog that will win, and go on and score here. We're going to have a look at Savannah Heros last week in his semi-final. He went from trap 3, 39-39, beating Greenwell Ange, who was in trap 4 here. And a ground who starts and stays. Tony obviously won the Queen Mother Memorial Cup at Sheffield over the 660. They stepped him up to 8 bends. He didn't get home. Over the 6 bends, he, for me, seems to hit a little bit of a flat spot and then comes again late on.
Yeah, he certainly does. I mean, he trapped really nicely in the semi-finals. He had to work hard in the heat, but he's found his 30 spots for another look round Sunderland. The Brinkley's dog was all over him at the bends, but running the bends isn't Brinkley's strong point. And Savannah Heros, once he managed to fend off the attentions of that rival, you knew he stayed really well. He was still going strong after the drop. I could see why they tinkered with a TV trophy, but he didn't really see out that extreme marathon distance. I put him up at the start at 5-1. Dave, I can't change my mind. I think he's the fastest in the race. Got the makeup of all makeups. It's a funny race because there isn't any natural early speed. So I think Savannah Heros could maybe even be in front by the third bend. And if we are, going to take a good one to deny him.
Well, he'll be your selection. It'll be my selection as well, although I'll be hoping that his kennel mate Savannah Jazz can maybe nail him late on, because he was my pick at a big price. It was 25-1, maybe in 28-1 out there if he looks hard enough. Grant obviously got to the final of the TV trophy, stays forever, chasey, quirky, and I think she is at least the forecast pick. As long as she doesn't finish last, we'll land the place money, but I think she's a big player.
Yeah, I mean, if the race did cut up a little bit messy, then you're looking at Savannah Jazz will be finishing with a flourish. Agile Ange is a bitch I like. I've watched her career at Doncaster. She flourished over the standard distance, and she's coped well since stepping up in distance. I mean, she's another one that can start a little bit better than she has. And if getting on the bunny, it wouldn't be such a straightforward assignment for the favourite. Copies Kaiser is another one that could have a smash break in him. That's where his chance really rests. But one on the makeup, unfortunately, Greenwell Ange has been withdrawn, but that leaves the path clear for Savannah Heros for me.
Yeah, I mean, we'll quickly have a look at the draw and the prices then. It'll be the 9:07 on Friday at Sunderland. And down the card, Savannah Heros, 5-4 favourite. 2 is vacant, as Tony just mentioned. Farney's Willie, a middle seed in track 3 at 6-1. Coppice Kaiser, 7. Agile Ange, 11-4. And Savannah Jazz, 3 wide seeds at 7-1 around the outside. And he would have been a favourite, a short price favourite anyway, probably, I don't know, around about 15-8, 2-1 maybe. But the fact that 2's come out has opened the door even more to him.
Yeah, I think if you fancy Savannah Heros, I'd take the 5-4. I can't see that being bettered on the night, to be truthful. He might even go off a shade of 10-11 even money. So, I mean, the time was there last week in the semi-finals. He's got the makeup. He's having a virtual solo trial in some respects. So if he can go and post a 39, 30, 40 this time around, the others really have got their work cut out.
Very good trainer in his corner as well, Diane Henry. It seems to do ever so well with staying types. More on trainers a little bit later on. Right, now let's move to Hove. On Saturday night, there'll be 3 semi-finals of the £10,000 Coral Brighton Belle for the bitches. Now a Category 1, which is great to see, Tony, as well, alongside the Oaks, the Empress Stakes, the Angel of the North, the Puppy Oaks. Across 12 months, traditionally, bitches only competitions have been quite thin on the ground.
Yeah, they can get overlooked, the bitches, but I mean, there's a lot of strength in depth, and we've still got some familiar names. They seem like they've been around for ages as well, some of these bitches, Dave, but the fact that they still churn out solid efforts at the highest level is a testament to the connections and the dog themselves. But it's a competitive affair. There was a few weird results on in the first round, but Hove's always been one of my favourite tracks, particularly the 5:15. When they started tinkering with it, 4.75 metres, no run to the bend, the 4.90, nah. 5:15, keep it, always.
Yeah, brilliant. You mentioned some familiar faces. Feels like Droopy's Eunice is featured in every single show we've done this year. She's been on the go, puppies, and now bitches competition. But there was drama on the opening night. In the first heat, it was deemed a no race. There was an issue with the traps, and they struggled to get the boxes off the tracks. The hare had to be stopped early on in the interest of safety. Lots were drawn. Queen Johnny, Montana Angel, Celsi Bullet all went through. Fabulous Sonique, I think, was in front and looked almost certain to qualify. Gone out. Fair play to some of the bookmakers who have refunded anti-post bets on the 3 that were knocked out drawing lots. And we're not going to dwell on that because we could do a whole show on the nonsense that is drawing lots and not having a rerun and, the 4-day rule, etc. We'll move on, but that's what happened in Heat 1. Heat 2, well, let's have a look at this one then. Aladale Kazoo, 30.57. The Peter Bussey winner, Nathan Huntsbitch, starts and stays. She's been in great form, and she was again here, Tony.
Yeah, no match for Crafty Chavou in a prep trial, but Aladale's Kazoo, you forget, contested the Puppy Classic final at Nottingham. Was a big price in that, but that event normally throws up 1 or 2 above average types. And Aladale Kazoo, well suited by a stiff 4 bends. I mean, over a shorter tight 4 bends, you wouldn't be looking at Aladale Kazoo, but really stays well, turned in a handy enough position. Southfield Daisy was bowling along at the head of affairs. Even Mini Bullet, versatile sort, can chop and change over distances. But Aladale Kazoo, as she did in the Peter Bussey, timed it to perfection, Dave.
Yeah, brilliant. What a great bitch Mini Bullet is as well. I'll tell you what, you wouldn't mind owning one like that, would you? Whether she's over 4 bends, 6 bends, she's always bang there, and she qualified back in second. Right, we'll move on to Heat 3 then. And, make yourself comfortable because this was an exhibition of front running from Crafty Chavou. The Irish Oaks and Empress Stakes champion is back and well and truly back in full swing now. We saw her reappear during the Golden Sprint down at Romford, and there were just little signs, a little bit of early sparkle to the corner. I catch her in defeat a couple of times. Here she is in all her glory. Fastest on the clock as well. Vanna Bailout in trap 5 was second. Copicella in trap 6 was third. The outside box is dominated, but I speak of domination, and this was something special from Crafty Chavou, wasn't it, Tony?
It was. I mean, the Empress Stakes winner at Toast. I was a bit surprised to see her in the Golden Sprint on reappearance, but Mark Wallace knows the time of day. That was a blowout run. I mean, they weren't expecting to win the Golden Sprint with her. Easy 4 bends, just look after herself, then runs under her belt. went to Toaster, sub 29 seconds, back to back. She's class, and this was very, very impressive. Hove, nowadays, you don't get them fast times that we used to get, Dave, for the 5:15.
No.
You break the 30 seconds, you're doing well.
Yeah, I think I might be right in saying Barnfield on air track record, and it's a low 29-second run, which I don't think you'll ever see beaten. But this was very impressive, and one or two Shrewdies out there nibbling this one for the Derby as well. I think she's as big as 40-1. So Crafty Chavou there, and we'll have a look at the outright market shortly. But unsurprisingly, she heads it after such a demolition job. Right, let's have a look at the defending champion then. And this was a real great tussle, this one. This was Heat 4. Betsy's Bullet in trap 4, doing the business. Defending champion, banged out, does what she does. Catch me if you can. But Droopy's Eunice in trap 1, Queen Dusty in 6. And the runner-up in the red jacket, I thought, kept her honest throughout and run a stormer. Yeah,
as you touched on Droopy's Eunice, it's been a familiar face on this show. I only had the 12 starts as well, but that's how good she's been. Obviously a finalist in the Northern Puppy Derby at Newcastle, showed up well in the Monmore Puppy Derby, and now taking on all aged bitches and doing just as well. But Betsy's Bullet, what a credit to Connections, as you say, defending champ. I think is a better operator from a middle slot, personally, but home knowledge is always vital at Hove.
Yeah, well, remember what Tony's just said there, Betsy's Bullet maybe from middle draw, because we are now going to go through the semi-final draw. First up, let's have a look at the draw and some prices then. Saturday, 7:37 at Hove, semi-final number 1. And Queen Shakira is going to be our even money favourite in trap 3. Alan Alcazou second in at 3-1. And when I saw these prices, immediately I thought, well, 3 and 5 should be closer together. Was that something you agreed with, Tony?
Yeah, I mean, 3's a very fast pitch when everything clicks, but even money, I wasn't so sure, particularly with Southfield Daisy bang on the rails. I thought 3 would have to track a little bit cleverly. I liked 5. I thought 5 would beat 6 to the punch to sort of control the middle to wide space. So I would whiz Alal Alcazou. 2
votes for the orange jacket there. I've got Queen Shakira and Could Be a Star, both moving inside there. So the track will open up nicely. And similar to Tony, 5 and 6 around the outside will do for me. But she brings the trapping boots. Queen Shakira will certainly strut her stuff and be a big player. But the prices got to be with Alad Alcazou, and I think they'll be a lot closer together come 7:37 on Saturday. Right, let's move on to the second semi then. This will be the 7:56 on Saturday. You can see the draw on the prices here. Crafty Chavou, 1-3. I think I'll be right in saying that you're going to be with her, Tony. You got a forecast for us here?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a bit worried about Betsy's Bullet on the inside. I think Bubbly Bombay, his goose will be cooked if denied the luxury of leading, so I can't see that one making the frame if headed. I think Queen Dusty out wide, going to strip a lot fitter for the recent outings under her belt. She'll stick to the task out wide, so I'll be with 3-6 here.
Yeah, I'm exactly the same. Queen Dusty, she's still a wide course, but she's been over 6 bends. And yeah, I think she'll just come forward now. So she's going to be, for me, I think as a pup, she reached 4 Cat 1 finals, which is incredible. And I think she's got the draw there. Betsy's Bullet, obviously the defending champion, winner in the semi-final. A lot will rest on the start there and trying to keep a straight line to the corner. I think she might just move off a touch, but if she explodes from the boxes like she can, Crafty Chavou is going to have to be poor perfect just to live with her to the corner, let alone clear her. So an interesting race. Crafty Chavou is very short, but I think she'll do the business. And yeah, I'm the same as Tony. 6 around the outside for the cast. Right then, let's move on to the third and final semi-final, the 7:56 at Hove on Saturday. Remember, live on Sky Sports Racing, behind the red button on your Premier Greyhound Racing service. Odds-on favourite on the inside here, Queen Johnny, who looked as if she was going to get turned over in that Renault race when the hare was stopped. She's got the inside line here. Droopy's Eunice in 2, Queen Georgia in 4, Amanda Bailout in 5, and Droopy's Auntie in 6. You know, there's claims throughout here, but the clearest claims are obviously with the top Kent Plate winner, Produce Stakes, British Bred Derby. What sort of price do you think she'll be?
Well, I mean, I think she was going to get beat last weekend, but you'd still have to have her in at odds on for me. She's class. She broke the 30-second barrier prior to that. I think she asserts off the second bend. And I think it'll be a Liz and Rad McNair 1-2 with Havana Bailout running on through beaten rivals. I think if Queen Johnny wins, she breaks the heart of the others. And Havana Bailout, who's always been she's probably the forgotten bitch. Give her a solo trial. She's a very fast bitch, Havana Bailout. She is a little bit trouble prone, but I think she's the main forecast link because I think six needs to lead. 3's better off in the front. Droopy's Eunice is going to sort of struggle to find a way past Queen Joni if Queen Joni does get control the inside. And Selzy Bullet, although keeps chipping away, career best effort's going to be required.
Yeah, I mean, they tinkered with her seeding, didn't they? They had over 6 bends as well, Havana Bailout. She's now got the middle tag back on. And I completely agree with what you're saying. With a clear run, she's right up there. So she'd be a big player as well, respected in the market at 4-1, but 2 votes for the top there. And a red jacket to make. Oh, right. Let's have a look at the outright market then, because I say 36 became 18 at the weekend. And here they are, Crafty Chavoo. 6-4 top price. I'm going to be really, really boring here. And I'm going to ask you for anything at a big price here, Tony, maybe an each way angle, because I'm going head down on the jolly here. I can't see her getting beat. I think she's just peaking at the right time. We saw fireworks in her heat. I think we'll see fireworks again on Saturday night, and I think she'll win the final. What about yourself? Away from the jolly, what have you got for us?
I'm going to go Havana Bailout. Each way. Obviously, it's only first 2 to qualify, which is always a worry, but I do feel that Havana Bailout, if qualifying, the each way side of it, the old each way thieves that used to rear their ugly head, that might be the angle here. I agree with Crafty Chavoo. She brings her A game. In her current mood, she's the one to beat, but don't rule out Queen Joni. And if there is a bit of early pace in the final, a bitch like Havana Bailout could have a decent make-up.
Yeah, big price, I think, because of the fact it's 2 through, and she's probably in the warmest of the semis, right? But if she gets there, and she's certainly not going to be 12-1 in the final.
Oh, well, I mean, could be, but the each race side of it, the terms are different in just an individual race. So you get that extra place, which is always vital.
Okay, right. So we do always encourage you to get in touch, like, comment and subscribe. Comment, in fact, and get in touch with us on social media as well. Any questions you have. And this one came in a couple of weeks ago, Pete in Swindon, and a really interesting one here. I'll maybe try and tread carefully because I don't want to upset anyone. But Pete says, how much of a factor is who the trainer is of a dog to Tony and Dave when they are making their selections? Tony?
Yeah, as you say, we won't get too personal, but yeah, you do factor it in 100%. I mean, I've looked down at cards before, graded, and thought, I think, and then I see a trainer, and it puts me off a little bit. I'll do a bit there. Don't get me wrong. I think with the open side of things, a lesser name trainer, as we say, they go off bigger prices, and I don't understand why. I always base a dog off of its form, whoever's training it. If a dog's running well, it don't matter if Mark Wallace is there or an unknown, lesser known trainer is there. Like, I always take the merits of the dog on that side of it. But yeah, you always take the trainer into account. And as I say, but yeah, in opens, you've always got a better chance. I think you can get a bigger price, something that's in the hands of a lesser known trainer than a bigger trainer.
Yeah, I would completely agree with what you're saying about form as well. That's the most important thing. I think it was Janet Jackson who once sung, "What have you done for me lately?" And that is something I will just live and die by when you're punting on ground racing, because, you know, what dogs have done recently versus, you know, this dog was running in 2 grades higher 3 months, 4 months ago. Forget it. You know, worry about what a dog's doing now. What did a dog do last week? Has it been off the card? But in terms of an actual trainer, and it's a good question because obviously it is a big factor. You know, some trainers have got a better caliber of dog in their kennel. They've won more competitions. In terms of attacking a competition, I think I would always side with a trainer who's been there and done it. You know, if a trainer's got a number of Cat 1s and competitions to their name, then they've proved that they can, you know, recover a dog, prepare a dog throughout a competition. And that is a big part of it. Now, it doesn't mean that I didn't think Paul Burr's Roxy's Bullet could win the Essex Vase at the start of the year, because Paul Burr's a good trainer. But it's an interesting one. Form more than trainer for me. I think that's what you was getting at as well, Tony. But, you know, good trainers are good trainers for a reason. And recovering and preparing a dog, particularly in competitions, is massive.
Yeah, if you've got the tools, I mean, the workman's only as good as the tools that they've got, and obviously trainers with bigger kennels and the better dogs, the stats are gonna be weighed to in their favour. But yeah, it is something that I do factor in. I mean, I'm talking A8s, even A8s when I fancy something in an A8. If certain trainers, I'm like, I'm not as confident, and that's the truth. But I'll always look at the dog first. And then I'll sort of sometimes forget who's training it. And then you look at the train and you think, I might not be as head down as I would have been just basing it on the dog.
Yeah, we'll keep the names out of it because your Christmas card list will get shorter and shorter the more we talk. Right, we'll move on then. Thanks for that, Pete in Swindon. And do get in touch with us as well. Ask us anything you like. That was one that came in a couple of weeks ago. But fire us on social media or comment below on YouTube as well. And thanks to everyone for their kind comments as well. I know some people out there have been backing the winners, which is brilliant. Right, finally this week, there is the small matter of the BresBet Gymcrack final at Sheffield on Sunday, 500 metres, £17,500 up for grabs. Should the winner go on to win the Derby, there's a £10,000 bonus as well. And there is only one place to start, and that is last week's semi-final success, Wiki Ned, 28.62 from Trap 1. This is a ground who he got it wrong at the boxes. He trapped awkwardly in the first round. He battled through to qualify. Been sensational shedding his maiden tag, sensational in trials. And he's confirmed it here, Tony, because this was very, very impressive off the front. Yeah,
he didn't make the same mistake as he did in the first round and turn the tables on Droopy's Supply. 28.62. He posted 28.55 on debut. The debut was ultra impressive. You can see he's a youngster still learning. When he was in the boxes, you can see that they cock their head. They're looking for the hair. You can forgive a pup making an error, but this really looks Wiki Ned's race. I mean, I think he's flanked by moderate starters. I think a half-decent exit. The pace that he shows to the bend, he dominates the inside. He's the fastest in the race. He's worthy odds-on favourite.
Well, let's have a look at the market, the draw, and it'll be the 4:17 at Sheffield on Sunday. And set your alarm clock here because I think this is a ground of enormous promise and talent. He's in Trap 2, Wiki Ned at 4-9, and it is 6-1. The field, the remainder. Droopy Supply chased him home, was very impressive. And, you know, should he get it wrong at the boxes, this will be wide open. And the likes of Droopy's Supply, Elan Run in Trap 5. And Droopy's extra good on the inside as well for Heather Dimmock. You know, a ground whose chances will rest on maybe lying handy, being up with a van. Might be the one to maybe follow Wiki Ned round on the inside. So perhaps a forecast angle on the inside there. But I'm going to very much be with Wiki Ned. I think he's very exciting. And by the sounds of it, you are as well, Tony.
Yeah, I just think he leads the inside. And, I mean, if Droopy's extra good can repeat that 4.24 split in first trial, I'm not sure that's going to be on display. I think Wiki Ned has the legs of 1 and 3, goes round in front on the rails, posts another fast time.
Yeah, big prices for this year's Derby as well. We were lucky enough to be in the company of his trainer, Jimmy Fennick, last week. We were at a boxing do up in Birmingham, and a real glint in Jimmy's eye when talking about this lad. You know, this is a trainer who just a couple of years ago, he had the best dog in training, Ice on Fire. But, you know, we could just tell, we were asking him questions. The Derby is very much on the agenda. There's no two ways about that. All being well, this lad is going for the Derby because he is that good. But just listening and talking to Jimmy, he was grinning from ear to ear, wasn't he?
I should think he was. I'd have a glint in my eye if a dog like Wiki Ned was walking up the path to be put into the kennels. I think I'd kick Pamela Anderson out the gate to have Wiki Ned in the kennel, Dave.
Well, that's a whole nother show, that one. Right, that is Wiki Ned, and that is the Gymcrack final. It is now that time then. Best bets of the week. As you produce the goods with Gary the Arb, you have the honour, Tony. So where are we off to this weekend?
I thought, obviously, we're going to touch on the laurels next week, but I thought it was worth a mention. 3 cracking semi-finals at Perry Bar on Saturday. And I like Jetstream Angel for Kevin Hutton. Obviously, was runner-up in the Oaks, but has obviously since been promoted to winner of that event. Runs the track really well. I know she's taken on a few decent dogs, but that inside line, she's returned in great nick. 26.45 at Oxford. 28.36 in the first round. I think she leads up, makes all.
That is Tony then, this week's best bet from him. I'm going to go to Sunderland, and I'm going to go for a race that we've already covered on this week's show. The 907, which is, of course, the Grand Prix final. Well drawn on the inside is Savannah Heros, and any odds against available, or even money available, I think snap this one up. Diana Henry's charge. Good draw, 2's vacant. Starts and stays. I'll put in Savannah Jazz for the forecast, but best bet this week is Savannah Heros to make all in the Grand Prix final at Sunderland on Friday night. 907, their red jacket for me. 640 metres, trap to line. Success. That has been it for this week's show. Next week, we'll look back on the Grand Prix, the Gymcrack. We'll look ahead to the Brighton Belle and, of course, the Laurels finals. All the action live on Sky Sports Racing behind the red button. Some of it, which would be brilliant, will, of course, be live on Sky Sports Racing itself as well. Do remember to like, comment and subscribe. And, of course, more than anything else, remember to gamble responsibly. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.